Distinguished Professor Arthur Georges' journey to becoming one of Australia's top scientists began when he was 15. He clearly recalls reading the popular science books of Isaac Asimov.
Those books were outstanding, and he switched me on to the delights of science. I decided to be a scientist from that point on.
He says the key to being a good scientist is having a genuine passion for tackling problems.
You have to have fire in your belly about the process of discovery and also about the area in which you're working. It's not a 9-to-5 job.
Professor Georges is an ecologist and herpetologist who studies the evolution and ecology of reptile sex determination via both traditional ecological observations and high-powered genomics.
Little fellow just behind me on the right-hand side is a central bearded dragon. They're found in the semi-arid regions of Australia, and he's the model species that we use for investigating the research questions that we're interested in.
Many of those questions involve epigenetics, or the set of switches that regulate genes without changing the underlying DNA.
Whether an animal is a male or a female is determined by its development, and that development can be modified by environment to change the trajectory from, in the case of the dragon, from a male lizard to a female lizard.
It's a form of developmental reprogramming that Professor Georges has demonstrated in the lab by changing the incubation temperature of the reptile's eggs. But to his surprise, in 2015, he, along with collaborators Claire Hollerley and Academy Fellow Distinguished Professor Jenny Graves, identified the first instance of bearded dragons experiencing temperature-driven sex reversal in the wild.
And of course, that means that as the climate warms, there's a real possibility that there'll be an increase in the frequency of sex reversal in the wild, males being converted to females, an oversupply of females, and then evolutionary processes come in to drive the heteromorphic sex chromosome to extinction. In the last several 100,000 years, the climate's gone up and down by about 8 degrees, and these animals have persisted. So the question is not so much, are they going to be in trouble because they've experienced these sorts of things in the past. The question is, what have we done to constrain their ability to respond in the way in which they've done in the past? And of course, simplification of the habitat through grazing and habitat modification has constrained their abilities to respond in the way in which they have in the past. And are we going to accelerate their extinction as a result?
The applications of his research aren't limited to dragon lizards. Professor Georges says studying animals often leads to breakthroughs for humans.
We're not operating in a vacuum. We're not particularly interested in dragons. We're interested in the dragon as a model for probing how epigenetic processes can program or reprogram developmental outcomes.
Professor Georges says becoming a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Science will give his research greater prominence, allowing for even greater collaboration.
It used to be publish or perish. Now it's partner or perish. You need to link up with the best possible people that are willing to address the questions that are of interest to you. It's really important.